Hi there, welcome again. This week I'm going to build a work table for the makerspace. I've got all the wood over here and this is a 7 by 3 door which is 30 thick. It is actually lined inside with pine wood and it is super heavy and that makes a very good excellent space for the work table. This is 2 by 4 New Zealand pine that I got from a local store. So let's get started. I've set the 2x4 on my compound miter saw and I've set a stop block over here so that I can make repeated cuts. The total distance from the stop block to the cut point is around 28 inches and that would be the height of the leg that I'm going for. After the pieces are cut, I set it on the tabletop to see if I have all the required pieces. I'm going to make the legs using mortise and tenon joint. This is my first time trying, so go easy on me. I measure the width of the wood and transfer it to the legs. Then I transfer the dimension to all the sides of the legs. Using the depth gauge, I mark equal spacing on all sides to mark the tenon. Then extended it using a square. The shaded space will be removed to form the tenon. On the table saw, I set the blade height and make the cuts along my marking. Warning, this is a very risky cut, so please watch Mortise's video on how to cut properly. Then I raise the blade to make the final cuts. I do this on all the required pieces. I finished the cut on the table saw using the cross-cut sled. I set the stop block to make repeated cuts. After I make the cuts, here is the cross bracing of the legs with the tenon ready. To make the mortise, I make the markings and transfer it to all the legs. Then I test it with a piece of tenon to see if all is good. To remove the bulk of the material, I am going to use a drill press and 1-inch drill bit. When drilling, I make sure to stay within the marking. Now I can clean the cut using a chisel. Once the cleaning is done, here are all the pieces ready to put together. Using wood glue and a little bit of force, I insert the tenon into the mortise. Here I attach the other side of the leg. Because I did not make the mortise big enough, you can see the wood splitting, but this is going to be hid right beneath the tabletop, so I just glued it back and let it be. Sawdust works best to hide the small gaps. The cross bracing on the leg has to be added and I'm going to use a half lap joint. The miter saw is set to cut half the thickness of the wood and I'm going to remove the wood from here. Using a series of cuts and then coming back with the hammer, I was able to remove the wood. To attach the cross bracing to the tabletop, I pre-drill some countersink holes. Then using a long bit, I drill 3 holes for the screw. I attach the cross bracing on one side and I am flipping it to do the same on the other side. After applying the glue, I just flip and secure it in place. Using a square, I check before clamping. Before removing the clamp, I pre-drill and drive in some screws to secure the joint. I repeated the same on all the legs. Here it is, the legs are made, but I also made a mistake. The holes were drilled earlier to connect it to the tabletop, but on the other side I flipped the wood. Hence, I attached the small pieces to the sides so I can screw them to the sides and to the tabletop. I did the same on the sides too. I pre-drill before attaching the screws. Screwing the caster wheel on the end grain is a bad idea. Also, the width isn't quite enough, so I glue this plywood to the end grain. This will give the screw something to bite into, and this plywood is cut to the width of the 3-inch caster wheel. After pre-drilling, I attach the caster wheel with some washer and screws. Now the total weight of the table is very heavy, but by placing some blocks of wood beneath the table, I was able to get my hand under and flip the table. And there it is, a sturdy work table that is plenty strong for my needs. I have already started making other projects on this table. Please click on the link to watch those projects. All that remains is to put a 12 mm plywood for the bottom. Until next time, happy learning!